On Memorial Day weekend in 2015, an American man was cruising through the mountains when a car crossed the road and clipped the back of his motorcycle. He spun out and flew over the handlebars. The injuries to his left leg required a 9-day hospital stay that included amputation below the knee. Unfortunately, motorcycle accidents are pretty common. Amputations are also pretty common. What's uncommon about my next guest is that he ate part of his amputated leg. And while this sounds like a Florida man story, it's not. You can find him on Reddit, but he prefers to keep his real-life location and identity anonymous. It's a tale of the macabre for sure, but as you'll hear, it's also a tale of transformation. From taboo to talk of the town, giving you are what you eat a whole new meaning. The Redditor known as Incrediblyshinyshart. Shiny, welcome to the show.
Hello. Oh, I'm so sorry you had to say that out loud. That Reddit name is so stupid.
But it makes me laugh every time I say it. So, I mean, is it really that bad if it makes you laugh?
It's memorable.
Hello, your whole story is very memorable. So let's start with the story. You're in the hospital. All the doctors are agreeing. I'm sorry, the leg has to go. You say, cool, but can I keep it?
Yeah. And keep in mind, I was going through a whole transformation while I was in the hospital trying to understand everything going on. I was always already in that mood because over the past year, I had broken up with my longtime girlfriend, and I was trying to figure out who I was again outside of that relationship and figure out what I was going to do with my life. And then this happened, and it was a whole new extra part of another level of complexity on top of that. So while in the hospital and understanding that by no fault of my own, I'm going to have this new challenge coming up and trying to understand what's going on with all of that, I wanted to make sure that I was going to keep everything that was me. The idea of the hospital taking my leg, incinerating it, and sending it to a landfill really did not sit well with me whatsoever. And I was highly insistent that when you take it off, you keep it for me and I will come back and get it.
I can't even get my own medical records. Seriously, how did you manage to convince the hospital to let you keep your leg?
I don't know. I think no one ever asked about it before to try to keep body parts back. And it wasn't like a diseased leg. It doesn't pose any like pathogenic problems. It was just a traumatic incident and just kind of broke everything.
At that point, what was your thought with what you were going to do with it? Like when the doctor said, well, why do you want it? What did you tell them?
Well, I told them it was mine. And that's why I want it. I didn't go too much into it with them about what I was thinking. Initially, I was thinking, man, this would make such a kick-ass doorstop just to have my legs sitting over there in the house. And how do I get that done? Because, I was thinking, oh, well, get somebody to taxidermy it. And I had friends call out to about 13 taxidermists, and no one either take us seriously or was up for that whatsoever. I think there might be some loose laws around, disposal of corpse or something. I don't know. And then I wanted to get it freeze dried, but that was really expensive. It's like $1,200 to get a foot freeze dried.
Jeez.
So,
people might be surprised to hear that you were thinking of what some might consider like art projects as you're in the hospital. But I mean, do you think that was a part of your mourning process, or was there also what outsiders might consider a more traditional mourning process?
I would say it's outside of a traditional mourning process. It's definitely part of mine. And I worked in an animal shelter for a long period of time. And I would say that dark humor has definitely become part of my grieving process and how I kind of figure everything out in my head. And putting a fun little twist on things, even in the darkest time, is kind of a big part of how I process everything.
And how did you come to the conclusion that you were going to instead eat part of your leg? How did that even enter your mind as an option?
Many years previously, I had some friends and we sit around at dinner and drink. And I think, would you rather? And
Oh, yeah.
taboo subjects like that come up. And at one point, we all said, well, if it was ethical, it was healthy, would you try a little bit of human meat? I think there was a rumor going around or a story on the internet saying that an anthropologist had brought in some people jerky for like students to try or something like that. I don't remember where I heard it, but we're like, oh yeah, no, if it was like ethical and it's just a taste, we're not sitting down and having a steak and no one was harmed. No, absolutely. We'd all try that. So I was like, okay, well, here's an opportunity that we're hopefully never going to get again. So
Right. Yeah.
let's see who's up for it.
So, what kind of thoughts did you have as you were watching your friend's boyfriend, who was a chef, prepare your leg for a meal?
Man, that's super weird. It the whole process, like me going in and cutting it out of my leg and then putting it in the freezer and then giving it to my friend and then I'm cooking it. The whole process is highly surreal. In the back of my head, I'm like, okay, that's my flesh. We're cooking this up right now. It smells pretty damn good. But other than that, outside the weirdness, it is such a lovely time because they had set up flowers and mimosa bar, and there's a bunch of nice little pastries, and everybody's hanging out and having a nice little conversation. And he's preparing it so nicely. It's like little tapas, little tortilla chips with a little piece of meat, with couple of peppers and onions and stuff, and a little squeeze of limes and chimichurri. It was so nice that it kind of overshadowed the fact that we're all going to sit down and become cannibals today.
It sounds like you're describing like a wedding reception. Like this is quite the dinner party. I was trying to imagine what did this look like? Are this like paper plates and we're sitting on metal chairs? But you're describing, I don't know, you're kind of describing ceremony.
It absolutely was. And it was kind of posh and everybody's dressed up and it was just a very relaxed, kind of jubilant atmosphere. And what it was is me getting all the people together who really helped me through a hard time. And the idea of bonding with them by literally becoming a part of them and sharing in their experience was a nice little thing. And it kind of wrapped everything up with that whole agenda. And that's the pin in it right there. And now we start on new things.
So dinner is served. Do you say a few words or?
Yes, there's a couple cross jokes.
Can you share them?
Well, there's the take this is my body. That was a fun one. This is the first time I've ever been inside 10 people at once. That was a good one. I can't remember all the rest of them, but it was very, very dark, good humor.
I loved on your Reddit, you had an Ask Me Anything thread happening. And my favorite was, do the calories count if the meat is from your own body?
That's a thing, right? Because it has to be a net zero because it already came off. I got some of it back. But yeah, I don't even know how that works. How would you even calculate that?
I don't think you would. It's an interesting idea, though. So everyone takes their first bite. You begin chewing and chewing and chewing some more. What does it taste like?
Super beefy. And I understand that like everybody's like, oh, people are taste like lawn pig from Papua New Guinea. But for me, it was very, very beefy. And I always thought was kind of like traditional pork is domesticated. So maybe wild pork tastes different. I'm not sure.
And what was the conversation like once you all had begun eating and, like, were there more jokes? Was there a moment of silence? Did anyone hesitate?
No one really hesitated. Everybody kind of dug in. I do know that one guy asked if he could have the last one because there was 12 and there was 11 of us total. So he had seconds. One friend had to spit me out. Bless her heart. She chewed and chewed and chewed. And it was just like, I can't anymore. I'm sorry. She couldn't do it.
You had a lot of support from your friends. Was anyone like, dude, what are you doing?
No one ever came at it with that or like, absolutely not. There's no way. A lot of people were saying, I don't think I'm going to take part in that. I don't know if I could do that. Everybody was very polite about it, but no one ever came with me or said anything along the lines of, absolutely not, that's gross or that's bad or anything like that.
They didn't yuck
But
your
then,
yum. See what I did
no,
there?
but it's very good.
I can't help it.
But I do keep company with a bunch of weirdos. And so that doesn't seem too far out of line for me.
Well, and like you said, it was a unique opportunity. When else are you going to get that opportunity? And it's almost like, stepping back into time, I've since learned, apparently there's a lot of older cultures that practice, I think it's called mortuary cannibalism or endo-cannibalism, where eating a part of their loved one's dead body is a way to carry on their memory, and it's how they find closure.
And I kind of get that. I will say that I have no interest in eating any family members.
That's probably good for them to hear.
Yeah. God, I don't even think any of my family members know about it.
What? Are you serious?
Yeah, nobody knows that. I have friends and I have coworkers who know, and that's about it. But yeah, none of my family needs to know about that. They'd probably get weird about it.
Well, it would make for interesting Thanksgiving dinner discussion, but
oh God, would it?
Your call. Circle back with me if you do that and you have a story to tell. You said you did find a lot of insight. I think you even said personal growth in this process. What did that look like for you? What kind of personal growth do you get from eating your own amputated leg?
Well, I think part of it is the whole process of losing the leg and testing my metal and seeing what I'm actually capable of when under stress and under a whole new paradigm shift, and trying to go through that. And I kind of handled it well. I didn't freak out too much. I really thought I would just be an absolute mess. And it was nice to see that I didn't crumble. I got stronger through it. And every year since then is just, life has gotten better and better and better. I think part of it is, understanding that I'm going to die and trying to live every day as best I can. Let the smaller crap really go and try to do whatever I can to make myself happy and enjoy it.
Well, hey, you seem like you're enjoying this episode so far. Have you hit the follow button on your podcast player yet? It's a free way that you can support the show and ensure that you never miss an episode. It wouldn't hurt my feelings at all if you just, hit pause right now and gave that follow button a little tappity tap. All right, you're the best. Back to the show. How has your life changed since that moment?
Moved and got a whole new career. So I quit my job at the animal shelter, got a whole new career doing construction, making more money than I ever thought I would in my life. Met my wife, got married. She's super awesome. Started investing more in friends and the type of friends and friendships that I want to have. And the people I don't want to be around, I just don't. They don't need to be part of my life. And trying to get the dangerous or toxic people to, keep them at bay. Try to figure out what I want and work and how I want to function. Actually make a future for myself.
Do you think you would have experienced all those changes without eating a part of your leg? That maybe the brush with death itself was enough for transformation? Or do you feel like the ceremony of that meal with your friends was an essential part?
I think I would have had a lot of growth regardless. However, the dinner was a very special thing that brought me really close to a lot of people and kind of helped me understand that, there's one of those things where I never knew if other people loved me. And it's one of those things where I really want a connection with people, and to have people come out and go through this with me really showed that I do have a group of people that really cared about me. So that was an extremely endearing aspect of it.
That's major. That's almost like its own event.
It's pretty special. I was super happy. And, I always look back on it with fond feelings.
Yeah, I imagine. That's incredible. Thank you so much for sharing your story with me. Do you have any closing thoughts before we sign off?
No, I'm pretty happy. If you have any questions, I'm full of dumb ideas.
And a few pretty good ones too. So yeah, follow my friend here at Reddit Incrediblyshinyshart.
Thank you so much, Meredith.
Thanks for listening. Since you've made it this far, you're officially invited to my private Facebook group. In there, you can easily give me direct feedback on episodes, weigh in on future topics, and participate in giveaways. Search MFR Curious Insiders on Facebook or click the link in the show notes. If you liked this episode, you'll also like the one with the man who went from felon to $1 million business owner. And stay tuned next week when I talk with a medical doctor about if your mental health and hormone symptoms might actually be from mold illness. Until then, keep it curious.